DJ, with this being our gambling themed podcast, I don't know if I've ever asked you this before, but do you have like a separate funds for your gambling, like losses and wins, or do you just do it out of like your everyday money?
No, I hide it. I will never
You
let
do
my
hide
wife
it?
know. Yeah, I got a separate savings account that my wife doesn't really look at, and I pull it out of there at the end of the year. Hopefully, I'm up, but that's where it comes from.
Let's say just hypothetically that you just were to go on like a terrible like downward spiral. What's more likely? You were to quit sports gambling or you request that your wife gets a second job?
I'd quit sports gambling. I'm pretty smart about it. Once I get too far down, I'll pay it to get to even, wait a couple of weeks, and I'll start over again.
I'm so disappointed. I thought you were going to say, "Hey, you go help me support this terrible just disease that I have." And
Deficit.
well, with that, let's just get this started. Let's get loaded because this is the Loaded Box Podcast.
Or we never finish first because we finish last.
Oh, welcome back to the Loaded Box Podcast. I am your host, Ben Morgan, along with our other host, DJ Primo. Welcome back to all the new listeners. Welcome to your first time, your first experience with us. To all of the loyal listeners, welcome back once again to this is our gambling podcast. If you missed our first week 4 preview podcast of this week, we did more of our fantasy football focused one. But this one is for you degenerates, hence today's intro asking DJ about where he gets his funds. Because, man, what's been going on here? Did you have a little improvement this last week, or was it just another one of the same? Like, it's been a cold NFL season for you.
So actually, my record was better than this week because I bailed. I actually pushed on the Chiefs Texans. Was it the Chiefs? No, the Chiefs Ravens last week. That ended up being a 5-point spread. I bet it at 5. They backdoored them and pushed on that one. I bailed on the Redskins Bears under. Got a little scared. Took the Bears minus 5.5 Monday night. Nailed that. So I actually ended up going like 3-1-1 or something like that on Sunday. So I did pretty well.
But to be fair, with the podcast that we released, based on the spreads that we had when you told our audience, you went 2-3 minus 5 units. And now you're out here saying, like, you know what, I really went 3-2-1, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you're just breaking rules. You're just bending rules, trying to make it look like you're doing better. What is that?
Well, I think we should all get the spread that we had when we bet it. So I took the Chiefs minus 5 because that line came down, and I took the Chiefs on Sunday. So did everybody else who followed me, and it ended up being a push. So you're welcome. I should be 2-2-1 this week. By the way, I've been meaning to bring this up. I got a little bone to pick with you.
Can't wait.
So when we first started the podcast at the website, I got real excited. Fun stuff to do. I'm gonna do a lot of work on this, and as it's gone. You like do it all. I don't know if you like it, but you've done most of the work. I've been busy. I've got a kid. You say that you're having a baby, but you still won't have a baby because when it comes out of your wife's vagina, you'll realize it's not yours. Here's the thing. Now that I've gotten so comfortable with not doing anything, football season's coming around and I'm writing articles. I'm doing multiple podcasts all on the same day. Honestly, I want a raise.
You know what? I can afford a raise. I can give you a raise. Where I'm going to get it from, I'm going to ask your wife to get a second job just to fund your podcasting abilities here.
There we go.
Oh, beautiful. Let's kick it off then. We are in week 4, as we said, and since this is our gambling podcast, we're giving straight up winners. We're going to give our against the spread predictions. So, DJ, with that, the first game we're going to talk about is the Carolina Panthers at the Houston Texans. We've got the Texans favored by 4.5, over under of 47. Where are you leaning?
Have you been seeing the popular meme that has kind of resurfaced about the little kid that's like warming his arm up commercial? And somebody retweeted and said, I can't believe this kid grew up to be Kyle Allen. I actually died the first time I saw it.
I typically don't laugh too hard at those things. That one got me. I will admit, I just bust out and said, like, that would have been the one I would have wanted to come up with. That was so good.
Yeah. I think I saw the original person who came out with the tweet right away, so I feel glad that I saw the first one, so I was actually able to laugh before it got stale. I died when I saw that.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going by the seat of my pants here again. It worked a little bit better for me last week. I ended up 2-2-1. Ben says 2-3. Fuck Ben. 2-1 last week. Even units. I'm going to win some more games for you. I'm starting to see the board a little more clear. We're coming into week 4. I'm feeling a little bit better. So let's start out with the Panthers Texans. You said -4.5. The over-under is 47. Do you believe in Kyle Allen? That's the question. I don't know. This game is going to be interesting. This offensive line for the Texans is struggling. The Texans are pulling out wins. And I don't know what to think about the Texans and how much they're struggling right now. And the Panthers can actually get after that quarterback. The thing I'm most worried about is, can Kyle Allen, is that just a one-hit wonder type of deal?
Right.
I'm not gonna put my money on this game. I just won't, just because I just don't know. If I had to decide one way or the other, I'd go Texans 4.5 at home, because we're still dealing with Kyle Allen here. You don't know what you're going to get out of him. Deshaun Watson's obviously a better quarterback. So obviously, if I'm going to side against the spread with Texans, I'm going to go straight up Texans -4.5.
And I honestly don't know that I have any analysis or thought that's any different than what you said, so I'll keep mine short. But I'm with you on both of those. It's, as if you're new to this, we'll tell you exactly which ones we're putting towards our record. Even though we go through every game, we only have certain ones that we've hand-selected that we're putting towards our record. It doesn't sound like that's one for you. It's definitely not one for me. I was really impressed with the Texans last week and their ability to stay in that game and then just put away the Chargers. Like, I didn't see that coming. They kind of shocked me there. I wish this line was a little bit lower because, yeah, for the first time all season, Carolina actually looked pretty good. But, yeah, was it a one-time wonder thing with Allen? I don't know. I have more faith in Deshaun Watson, just like you. Not a carded play, but I'm going to go with the Texans as well, straight up and against the spread.
Let's go.
All right, we got the Browns at the Ravens. We got the Ravens favored by 7, over under a 45.
So actually, I've been thinking about this game ahead of this time, so I actually have an answer. This actually is going to end up being a game that I throw on my card. I'm going to bet this, and not only am I going to have one bet out of this, I'm going to have 2 bets out of this.
Whoa.
I am going the Browns plus the 7, and I'm going Browns money line. They go into Baltimore, expose Lamar Jackson. We see what we've been seeing out of him last week, a little bit what we were seeing out of him 2 weeks ago, overthrowing guys. He's not that great of a quarterback. He's not good. I think he's trash. He's just going to keep getting worse as the season goes on, because he was facing maybe the worst teams in the NFL in those first 2 games. Like I said, against the Chiefs, they're not a great defense, but they have a competent team, and so they were going to make him look like, bring him back down to earth, which they did. They definitely did. They had to run all their touchdowns. He didn't look good in that game. I love the Browns in this game. I know that Baker Mayfield got wide receivers running Mike McCarthy type routes 30 yards on the field, an offensive line that's not able to block. So some of the dumbest play calls, they got to get better at that. I think Baker Mayfield comes out with a vengeance here and wins this game.
I just texted your wife and said, hey, you should start looking for second jobs. DJ just double dipped on the Browns.
5 units, baby. You gotta crawl back. Keep digging. I'm digging every week.
I love it. Straight up in this game, I do have the Ravens, but I'm with you against the spread. It's not a carded play for me, but I would take the Browns in this game. We look at them on paper and we're like, God, they should legit be one of the top 5 offenses in the league. And it just hasn't clicked yet. And I personally think it's because of exactly what you said. They're not running the right play calls given the performance of their offensive line so far. They're going to have to figure that out. But guess what? They're going to have to figure that out against the Ravens, because the Ravens will get after your quarterback. So they should have more quick one-read type plays to get Baker comfortable, get him getting some completions. He can get that done. He just can't sit in the pocket or have to run out and try to evade tacklers this whole time. They're going to have to simplify some things this week. I think that's going to work for them. I wouldn't be surprised if they won this one outright. But yeah, against the spread, I'm all about the Browns. I mean, we finally saw the Ravens have to play a competent team in the Chiefs last week. And yeah, they hung in there, but they had to come back at the end to make that game as close as what it was. I'm not a believer in the Ravens yet. If you're going to give them a touchdown over the Browns, I'm taking the Browns, even though it's on the road. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I have to side with you. I'm taking the Browns on that one.
And what was I going to say off of that? It was that Chiefs game wasn't close though.
No.
The Ravens Chiefs game wasn't close. You look at the score and be like, "Oh, that was a good game." Nope, it wasn't.
No,
the Chiefs had it won the whole time. It was never a good game.
No, I'm totally with you on that one. All right, I can agree with you there. Let's go on to the Redskins. I believe I read earlier today that Case Keenum is still going to continue to be the starter, so we're operating under that assumption right now. At the Giants and their new quarterback, -3 over under 49.5.
I mean, the Giants are down there among the worst defenses in the entire NFL. So I'm going Redskins both sides of this
Whoa.
game. I don't know why. I mean, I just can't side with the Giants. Like, Saquon's out, worst defense ever. Daniel Jones is whatever. Like, let's all settle down. They should have lost that game to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Everybody's freaking out that they beat the Buccaneers. Like, okay, like those are two crappy teams that played in a close game, just like we expected. Probably be the same here. I think the Redskins end up winning this game.
Here's the thing, though. Like you said, it's two crappy teams. And what I saw from the Redskins on Monday night, granted, they played the Bears. That's a really good defense. I don't care. End of the day, these are some struggling-ass teams. It's the divisional team. Usually when it's these games in the division, I'll take the home team. Vegas is telling us that on a neutral field, these teams are dead even. So Giants are getting that 3-point home favorite. In the divisional games, I'll typically take the home team. Maybe they have something with Daniel Jones here, though. 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. Had the moxie to actually take that ball up the middle and run for the game winner. Yeah, their defense sucks. But I'm not all that scared about the Redskins offense right now, so I don't think it matters. You're looking at my first carded play of the day. I'm actually going, I'm really confident. I'm going one whole unit on the New York Giants this week.
Yeah, you're real confident in that one. This is a trash game, and I just don't. Daniel Jones, is he really going to be good? I don't think so.
That's why you bet it. You make the trash games worth your time every single time. That's how you make them interesting, DJ.
Yeah,
speaking of a trash game, we've got the Los Angeles Chargers favored by 16 at the Miami Dolphins. Over under a 44. This is the first time in a couple of weeks here that the Dolphins are less than 20-point dogs. What the hell is going on here? Shouldn't the Chargers be favored by a significantly higher number than this?
Well, they're beat up. Well, they're really beat up. So I think that's the issue we're coming into. They're not the Cowboys. They're not the Patriots.
Nope, they're the Chargers.
I'm getting yelled at. But yeah, so I don't know. I think I'm going to side with. I got to go. I can't pick Dolphins. It's got to be the Chargers both ways.
Yeah, definitely the Chargers here. So the thing also that I just read about the Dolphins is the fact that Rashad Jones has basically been hurt the whole year, hasn't played the last couple of games. Now you also have Bobby McCain, who's injured in the secondary. They could legit be playing, and now Minka's out of the picture. Jamal Wiltz, who is a nobody, but he's been starting, he's out of the picture. The Dolphins are going to be playing with what was a depleted secondary that's beyond depleted now. Man, I told you on our fantasy football podcast, plug in Phillip Rivers. Go ahead and use Eckler, use Mike Williams, use Keenan Allen, use them all. Dolphins defense, like their offense might be a little bit better with Rosen. I think we can both agree with that. They can score some points. It doesn't matter. The Dolphins defense isn't getting in the way of anything right now. Chargers have this one by 21 plus for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be tough though. I don't know. I see a little more fight out of the Josh Rosen.
Well, so do I, but it's just that big ass number. But at the end of the day, this is a historically terrible team. Like, I can't get over that. I will keep going against them until it proves me wrong.
Yeah, I won't side with them, but I'm not going to put this on as a game that I'm betting on.
Fair enough. Let's move on to the Raiders at the Colts. We got the Colts favored by 7 over under a 45.
God, this is just another tough game for me. So it's not if I can't pick it out right away, I'm going to go Colts straight up. I think the Raiders keep it closer than 7 points, though. I don't really have much analysis, but I think the Raiders will slow down the game, run a lot. The Colts haven't been particularly great against the run this year. So I think they will keep it close just because they'll slow the game down. They defensively haven't been terrible. I think the Colts end up winning probably around 3 or 4, but the Raiders covered.
So this is the first game of what I consider to be just kind of a little bit of a weird week in the NFL, where Vegas has these point spreads that I just don't quite get. And for that reason, I'm going to go opposite of what I originally thought. When I looked at this game, I'm like, Colts, 3, 3.5, maybe 4. I see him favored by 7. And my initial reaction was exactly like you. I'm like, take the Raiders, take the Raiders. But man, the Colts they're 2-1. They're overachieving without Andrew Luck. They're not as bad as what people thought they were going to be. And the Raiders, if anything, like a lot of their hype was when like everything was clicking, the Hard Knocks thing was cool, AB was still in the picture. That week 1 win was awesome when they beat Denver, whatever. What's happened since then? A whole lot of nothing. We both said it on the fantasy thing, or the fantasy podcast earlier in the week. They need to get the run game going. They need to get Josh Jacobs going. I just don't know if they're going to get back to those roots yet this week. The line doesn't totally make sense here. It's a touchdown for the Colts. I'm going to take them, though. I'm taking the Colts minus the 7. Next. Ooh, the Chiefs also favored by 7 at the Lions, over under a 54.5.
So while you were talking about that last game, I decided I'm going 5 more units. I'm taking the Chiefs minus 7 at the Lions. Anytime the Chiefs are like only favored by a touchdown, I expect them to win by 10, and honestly, every game. So if they're not favored by double digits, I'm gonna take them. Like if they're favored by single digits, I am on them. Do you remember when Aaron Rodgers had the like Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson, Donald Driver,
Right.
all those guys? He loved playing indoors because that high-powered offense could even be more high-powered. Now Patrick Mahomes gets to basically be that guy. He's got all these fast guys running around. The Lions are going to be able to keep up with them. They're going to be scoring 90-yard touchdowns at every play. They're going to win by 20 in this game.
I thought you might say something similar to that, which made me think that you were going to card this game, but you were going to take the over, because I know you're also high on Stafford this week and Galladay and the Lions getting on track with some offense here. But yeah, it's not a carded game for me, but I am straight up Chiefs. I am against the spread Chiefs, literally for all the reasons that you said there. I say it every single week. You need to get in a shootout, and you need to be able to score with the Chiefs in order to beat them this year. We've seen the Chiefs play against good defenses, and it hasn't mattered. They are still the league's best offense, and I don't necessarily consider the Lions one of these top-tier defenses. So that means the Chiefs are probably going to score even more. The fast indoor track. I like Stafford. I've always been a Stafford guy. I like Galladay. I like Kerryon Johnson. I can't believe that they're technically undefeated. They haven't lost. They have the one tie. I think this is the week where they get that first loss. I can't bet against the Chiefs right now. There's zero chance I'm doing that. So I have to take against the spread. I have to take the Chiefs as well.
Next.
The Patriots favored a pair of undefeateds in the AFC East. The Patriots are favored by 7.5 at the Bills, and due to my incompetence, I did not write down an over-under for this. So if you want to bet it, you're going to have to look it up.
That's okay. So here's what I'm going to say about this game. I think we don't really know much about the Patriots. Tom Brady doesn't have Gronk, right? He may not have Julian Edelman. Josh Gordon is, so I'm a little bit worried about their offense. Like from here on forward, they've got to play some very favorable opponents up to this point. Very favorable.
Oh, yeah.
Their defense is excellent, but I think the Bills are going to play a knockdown, drag them out game. Their defense is excellent. They are top 10 in like every category coming into this game. I'm not gonna go 5 units. I'm gonna talk myself into going 1 unit on the Bills plus 7.5. I think they could pull off the win in this game. I honestly believe that they could come out here. Everybody's gonna go on the Patriots because they're gonna think the Bills aren't that good. Maybe they aren't. Maybe Josh Allen isn't. But it's gonna be they're gonna make them work for everything. Like Brady's going to get hit. They're going to hit the wide receivers. They're going to hit the running backs. They're going to feel more pain than they have in any other game so far. And they're not going to like it very much.
So it's funny that this is finally a game that we're going to disagree on. And not only are we disagreeing on it, but I'm also making it a carded play. And on top of that, it's a carded play that is tied for my second biggest play of the week. This is how confident I am this week, DJ. I'm going a whole 2 units on the Patriots. You might think that's not that much. However, if you remember from last week, I was losing all my big unit games. I need to stay in that 1, 2, 3 unit range right now and just build up a little equity and be able to bet big later. But here's the thing with the Bills. I don't trust them either. They've played the Jets. Literally they were down 16 points in that game, had to have a comeback win. They played the Giants. I don't count that game. Eli Manning was still playing. The Giants are a nobody. They beat the Bengals by 4. They had to have a comeback victory at home against the Bengals. The Bengals are right there with the Dolphins as like being the biggest shit show in the NFL right now. Yeah, the Patriots really haven't played anyone either up to this point. But guess what? They have all the experience in the world playing the toughest teams in the world. They've been in the Super Bowl 9 out of the last 12 years. It doesn't matter. They've been there. They've done that. It doesn't matter who you surround Brady with. Philip Dorsett is out here just crushing it. Josh Gordon's having a fine season. James White is going to be back after having his baby. Patriots are going to win this game by double digits. I'm so confident. I'm throwing a whole 2 units on it, DJ.
That sounds super confident.
I'm just filled with confidence right now. Going into this next one as well, I can't wait to hear your reaction because you just literally you took a verbal dump on Matt Ryan on our preview podcast earlier this week. So I'm interested to see where you go with this one. You got the Titans going to Atlanta. The Falcons are favored by 4 with an over-under of 46.5.
Titans straight up by 100. Titans against the spread by 100. Titans, Falcons over. They'll score 100-0. Titans. I'm not betting on the Falcons. I'm not going down the Matt Ryan train. I'm not doing it. Every single game I won't card, but I won't even touch a Falcons game this year. I'm just going to pick against them every single game because I think I'll be right more often than I'm wrong.
Are you a little bit nervous that Marcus Mariota has been sacked like a million times this year and he can't get everyone's like, there are certain people that are like, well, Ryan Tannehill should come in. Honestly, the way that offensive line is playing right now, Ryan Tannehill is likely a worse option because he's not as mobile. He doesn't have great pocket presence. Like Marcus Mariota needs to be the guy back there right now, but it doesn't matter. He's getting sacked like every other snap. You're not worried about that.
Nope, I'd rather have Mariota and Ryan Tannehill than Matt Ryan.
That is the perfect answer. All right, it's not a carded play for me either. Straight up, I am going to take the home team. I will take the Falcons. I do have more belief in them than you do. But against the spread, I've seen enough from Atlanta so far to say, hey, I'm not quite sure that 4 points against a lot of teams in this league I think that might be too many. This has like a field goal game written all over it. That over-under is a little bit intriguing to me as well. Because going into the season, I looked at the Falcons and like, man, I love this offense. They should be hanging 28 to 30 points per game. They have shown zero consistency. The Titans have shown zero consistency. Preseason, I've been like, yep, bet this puppy over. Now I don't even want to touch that. Against the spread, though, yeah, this is like a field goal game. This is a game where last team that has the ball is going to have an opportunity to win. It's going to be Matt Ryan. He's going to be chucking it deep to Calvin Ridley. He's going to get the game winner. They're probably going to win by 3, maybe 4. You're looking at a push at best, but don't give up yet, DJ. Don't dump on Matt Ryan anymore.
What do you mean give up yet? I gave up years ago on Matt Ryan. And if you think he's going to be throwing a game-winning touchdown to anybody, it's going to be a pick 6 of the Titans to win the game. This is what he does.
One way or another, he's throwing a game-winning touchdown to one of the teams.
Yeah. So that's a guarantee.
Let's move on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Rams. We've got the Rams favored by 10, over under of 49.5.
I'm conflicted here because I still think Jameis wins. I'm starting to like this offense. It feels like Jameis is playing a little bit smarter. Mike Evans is getting rolling now. I still haven't liked everything I've seen out of Goff. I'm still kind of questioning him as a quarterback here. I'm going to take the Bucs against the spread in this game. 10 points is a lot of points for a team that can put up some points. They're out in LA again. I don't consider those home games playing out in LA.
No.
And then straight up, I will take the Rams because 10 points is a lot of points. I mean, you can win by 5, you can win by 6, you can win by 7, not even 8, 9, anything under 10. But I could see this game also going. If I had to do something, and I might go over the 49.5. I could see this being like a 35 to 27 game.
What kind of throws me off about this one is I really thought the Rams were going to be that team that was in those shootouts kind of every single week. And at week 1, they beat the Panthers 30 to 27. I kind of thought that was going to be the blueprint for how they played games this year. But then you look at their last 2 weeks, gave up 9 to the Saints, gave up 13 to the Browns. So they've given up a total of 21 points over the last 2 weeks against teams that we thought were going to be like leading the league in offense, like really good like trendsetters on the offensive side of the ball this year. So that defense has been like overachieving to a point here. So there's something to be said for that. And what I like about this is the Rams offense, even when it has a bad day, I think it's going to be just fine. It didn't do all that well against the Browns. They scored 20. I don't think the Buccaneers are even close to in the same book as the Browns when it comes to defense. They're going to score more than 20. I think that defense is going to continue to keep its trend up. It's not a carded play, but I have to go opposite on this one. I have to take the Rams both straight up and against the spread here.
Wrong.
Before we get to this next one, let's talk about Pristine Auction really quick because we actually are doing our Amari Cooper signed mini helmet giveaway. That winner is going to be determined on Sunday. It's the Cowboys are playing on the Sunday Night Football game. Winner will be determined during that game. Check us out on Twitter at Loaded Box. That's how you get signed up to get entered to win that. But in the meantime, also head over to pristineauction.com. Enter registration code LOADED and you get $5 added to your account. So make sure you get signed up for that. It's your last call, basically. This is going to be released Friday. Winner is determined Sunday. So get on it as soon as you hear this. DJ, I believe we are on to the Seahawks, who are favored by 5.5 at the Arizona Cardinals over under a 48.
Here's $1 million question. Are the Seahawks bad?
You're going to bet $1 million on this?
No, but it's a good question. Like, are the Seahawks bad at football? But you know what we do know? The Cardinals are. The Cardinals are a really bad football team. It's about time the Seahawks get back on that winning side. They're playing against a very, very, very bad defense in the Cardinals and an offense that just doesn't have it. Kyler Murray's fired. Cliff Kingsbury's fired. They're all fired. Fire everybody. You gotta side with the Seahawks the way the Cardinals have played this year.
I think that the Seahawks are going to come out just on a mission in this game after they had like everything work out to their favor in last week's game. They got the Saints, a tough opponent. They got them at home and they got them without Drew Brees, and they also got embarrassed. There's no way that they don't bounce back hard in this one, especially against Kyler Murray and his 4 yards per attempt from last week. No one's scared of that. The Seahawks defense is going to come back. This game, I think the Seattle Seahawks offense will be fine. Like you said in the fantasy podcast, Tyler Lockett is coming on. Will Dissly's coming on. They're going to get that run game back on track. I'm not too worried about the offense at this point. The defense in this game is going to just completely go off. I think they're going to really limit the Cardinals in what they can do here. I sort of like the under because I don't see the Cardinals really scoring all that much. I think 48 is way too high for this game. But against the spread, I would have to take Seattle.
Absolutely. You can't bet. This is one of those teams that's like the Dolphins. Like, you can't bet on them right now.
Oh, hell no. There's a handful of teams that you just like, oh, that line looks enticing. No, it doesn't. Like, don't bet on them until you prove it like 2 or 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Interested to see what you think about this one because it's two of the teams that you're not a big fan of, being a Green Bay Packers fan. But it's an important game already here in a divisional rivalry. We got the Minnesota Vikings at the Bears. You have the Bears favored by 2 at home, over under of 38.5.
I mean, this is a really, really simple one. It really is. And actually, you know what? Let's put this on the board.
He's doing it. He's doing it.
Are the Bears a 500 team, above 500 team, and above 500 good football team?
Defensively, they should be.
Are they above 500?
Like right now?
Yes.
Correct. They are.
Is it a big game?
Yeah, it's a big game.
All right, then give me the Bears -2. Kirk Cousins cannot beat good teams above 500. That's just the answer, period. Bears -2, easy. At home, lock it in.
I wonder where you were driving me on that one, but I remember DJ made a website that was basically about Kirk Cousins having the worst stats in important games. So yeah, DJ's going 5 units here on the Bears, it looks like. It's not a carded play. I will give you a spoiler for the next 3 games on the schedule. Those are all carded plays for me, by the way. I'm going a little crazy here at the end of this one. But yeah, if I had to, definitely going on the Bears. It kind of goes back to what I said in that divisional game. I forgot which one it even was now. Oh, it was the Redskins and the Giants, where if the teams are close, I'm taking the home team as long as it's 3 points, if it's 3 points or less. And this one in two, I think this could be a sloppy game. I don't think it's going to be a pretty game. If you're watching this game, you're hoping that it isn't your offense that makes that turnover that totally cost you in this one. And yeah, I haven't seen much out of Kirk Cousins this year to give me any belief. The same can be said about Trubisky, but at least he got a little bit into the swing of things this last Monday night against the Redskins. So he saw himself do it. He knows it's there. They can get it done. As long as Tariq Cohen puts his Instagram live story away when they're in the locker room. Did you see that one?
Yes, I did. It was amazing.
We had another dong broadcasted on social media.
Sometimes you just gotta let your dog hang out.
Well, who was the player? Do you even remember?
Yeah, it was kind of long.
Kyle Short, you mean? All right, Jags and Broncos. Just giving you a reminder here. I got money on all three of these ones, so don't be testing me the wrong way. Got it?
Let's rewind a second back here. Did you see the over/under in that Bears game?
Yeah, it's a whole 38.5.
Oh, I can see myself getting to that game on Sunday and betting you under that baby. You show me 38.5. There's no way I'm not betting that under, right?
The only thing that's going to screw you is that Kirk Cousins pick 6. That's going to put it to like 39 or 40.
It could be, but 38.5 is real tasty for the under.
I totally forgot that game was so low. I remember typing that into our little document here and just laughing like, oh, DJs might take that one under.
Ooh, I want it real bad. All right, Jags and Broncos.
Yeah, Jags and Broncos. Speaking of another low over-under, the over-under in this game is 39, and we have the home team, the Broncos, favored by 3.5 over Jacksonville. What do you got here?
Joe Flacco stinks, and I honestly think that what can I say?
Kyle Minshew. Gardner.
Oh, God. Gardner Minshew is a better quarterback than Joe Flacco at this point. Joe Flacco's bad. I can't see myself betting on the Broncos. I'm going Jags, both sides.
If anyone has the balls to name their son Gardner Minshew the second when there's not even a Gardner Minshew the first, I am all in on that family and whatever teams they want to play for, that they want to cheer for. That's not the reason I'm putting 2 units on the Jaguars. But man, I'm all in on that right now. They've got so much hype and just everything kind of going their way right now. I'm going to ride the wave here with the Jaguars. And I don't think I could say that the Broncos are maybe, this is a weird thing to say because no one that's 0-3 is ever good. I think they might be the best of the 0-3 teams right now. But why are they favored by 3.5? Like, where does the hook come into play there? If you can get this bet with the half, I'm all in on it. I'm 2 units on the Jaguars. They're better defensively. They still have Jalen Ramsey. We're going to see how that plays out. Offensively, they're both kind of meh, but I'm with you. I'm taking Minshew. I'm taking the Jags running game. He's provided a bit of a spark over the last week or so. I don't think the Broncos can hang in this. They're still the only team in the NFL, I believe, that doesn't have a sack or a takeaway. That's a pretty damn telling stat right there. It's amazing when you have Von Miller and Bradley Chubb, and you haven't forced a single turnover or gotten to the quarterback to bring him down. I could see the Jaguars hanging in this one, winning it straight up. If you wanted to do the money line in a game this week as a dog, this is the one that I would recommend. I'm all in on the Jaguars, 2 units.
Also the Browns.
What about the Browns?
The money line.
Oh, Browns and the Jaguars. There's your money lines of the week. All right, let's go to that Sunday night game. This is the one where I was going to call him Dez Bryant, where Amari Cooper is going to win somebody an autographed mini helmet. We got the Saints favored by 2.5 at the Saints, or the Cowboys favored by 2.5 at the Saints, over under a 47.
You know what? I just added this to the old card. This is the easiest bet of all time. I wish I could do 15 units on. I'm going 5 units. Any idiot who thinks they should take the Saints at home because they're the home dog without Drew Brees, with one of the worst secondaries in the entire league. Dak Prescott's on fire. They're still playing indoors. They're not traveling very far. Zeke's going to run it down their throat. It's about time for him to get going. This is Cowboys easy. Cowboys easy. Everybody's going to want the Saints home dogs.
Oh, I told you not to cross me. And you just crossed me. And I'm going to tell you why. You should switch your bet over to the Saints right now. You said everyone's going to be on the Saints. The line is 2.5 for Dallas. That's telling you that Vegas is thinking people are going to be betting on the Cowboys. I could see this game getting up to 3 or more. I think most people are going to be betting on Dallas because of exactly what you said. Now, if you go back and do our podcast, midway through, I said this is a funny week where there's some funny lines and you need to go the opposite way of what you think is obvious. Because I did the same thing you did, DJ. I looked at this line and said, indoor game, no Drew Brees, Cowboys are rolling, this is Cowboys easy. It's not going to be that easy. The Saints proved that they could get it done without Brees. The Cowboys, yeah, they've looked good. They still haven't played like your top tier competition yet. They're going to have one of those games offensively like they've had in the years past where it's been like, where the hell, what's this offense doing? Like, why are they like stuttering? Why are they just stuck right now? That's going to be this game, prime time in New Orleans. I don't think it's a great idea to like bench Zeke, obviously, to bench the receivers, to bench Dak the way it is. But if you've got some like close calls, man, you could get ballsy in this one and sit maybe Dak for like another like decent quarterback if you have one that has a better matchup. I think the Cowboys offense is going to struggle a bit in this one. Saints are going to win this straight up. Saints are going to take this against the spread. If you're betting any money line this week for a dog, make it the Saints.
This is going to be one of those games where they get to like halftime and it's 27-0 Cowboys and they're like, oh, we thought this was going to be a good game. Saints scored all their points basically on defense and special teams, it seemed like last week. It's not like they were putting up. I mean, Kamara had a good game, but it's not like they're an offense juggernaut. Cowboys defense is actually significantly better than the Seahawks. They can get to the quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater is going to be nervous and throwing picks all over the place. Honestly, this is a blowout game for the Cowboys. Done in the first half.
Well, we'll see how your 5-unit confidence does against my one. My ones have been pretty good this year, DJ.
Somebody's got to win. It's 2.5.
That's very true. Well, let's go on to a Monday night. What a terrible Monday night game after an interesting Sunday night game. We've got the lowly Cincinnati Bengals at the Pittsburgh Steelers. We got the Steelers favored by 3.5 over under a 44.
All right, well, that does it for the Loaded Box podcast. Tune in next week. You know what I just realized that you've been doing? Are you purposely betting 1 and 2 unit games, thinking that since you've been winning your 1 and 2 unit games, that you're just going to bet them all low?
Yeah.
Oh,
I wasn't holding back. I said that's my strategy. It's working. That's the superstitions just taking over, DJ.
Do I have to answer this game?
If you don't want to, I can just take it because it's a card play for me.
Well, I don't know how or why. It's gross. I don't like Mason Crosby out there playing quarterback. I don't know. I think the Bengals aren't as bad as what they look. I'm going to side with the Bengals on this game just to go against you.
Put some respect on his name. Mason Rudolph is not only does Rudolph lead the pack of reindeer in that children's story, he's going to lead the Steelers to what I think could be a blowout win. Everyone's down on Pittsburgh right now. They can't get the running game going. They literally haven't been able to get the pass. They haven't get their offense going. What better team to get right against than the Bengals? Yeah, the Dolphins. That's probably your number one answer. But if there's another one, it's the Cincinnati Bengals. I initially looked at this and said, hey, 3.5 is kind of a lot for a Pittsburgh team right now without Roethlisberger. It's not. This is another one of those goofy games where I feel like the number just doesn't quite add up. They're going to win this game by a touchdown plus. I'm confident in it. I'm going a whole 2 units. Give me the Steelers straight up. Give me the Steelers against the spread. I'm going to go like 4 or 5-0 this week, dude. It's going to be a turnaround week 4.
I can't believe you didn't even consider gambling that trap. I'm not even going to watch that game. I'll have it on my little TV just so it's there, so I can be like, oh yeah, I watched that game, but I'll probably be watching like The Voice or something.
That is such a terrible thing. We're gonna end the podcast on you saying that you're gonna watch The Voice over Monday Night Football.
That's how pathetic a Bengals Steelers. It should be a Thursday night game, they should switch the Packers Eagles with the Bengals Steelers right now. Like, do it real quick.
Monday night was made for us, DJ. It doesn't matter who's playing. It's the chase game. You know in your heart of hearts, you're gonna bet on it.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna bet on it. I'm probably not going to take a side, though. I usually go starting to push over-runners on those games, but How many units? I got 26 units rolling this week.
This is going to be a make or break week for you. My text message to your wife earlier has never been more relevant. Start getting that job application going, sweetheart.
Let's go.
Anything else you'd like to add as we send people into the football weekend?
You know what? If you want to win, just follow my college football picks. That's all I got to say.
We should start posting those again because actually both of us, we do this. We have a great time doing these betting NFL pick podcast, and these are actually the games we bet on a lot of the time. Like DJ said, we ad lib every once in a while come Sunday based on line changes. But we need to get back to tracking and posting our college football plays because I know you text me every Saturday like, well, I'm up a bunch of money that I'm going to lose on Sunday.
That's what I say.
I haven't been like, I'm like that much fire as you, but I'm still profiting like every single week. So we need to get back into posting these and hopefully people can follow along, build up a little bit of savings so that come Sunday when you lose, it's not quite as painful.
I've got to be 65 to 70% right now. It's probably around closer to 70% right now on college football. Just feeling it. I have a strategy or like I don't know, it's something going into this Saturday's college football that I love. I love it. Also, bet Nebraska against Ohio State this weekend.
Well, how about this?
We should do it.
DJ, I'm going to need you. You got to hold us accountable. We need to get that tweet out. So check us out on Twitter for our Saturday college football picks. We'll make sure we post them there. Like I said, Twitter @LoadedBox. Check out our website, loadedboxpodcast.com. All of our podcasts. DJ Start Sit article. All the articles that our writers do are going up on there. So check that out. Next episode, we'll be back. We'll be previewing Week 5 in the NFL season with our fantasy football preview. And we are available on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and YouTube. Subscribe, rate, and review. And get signed up for that Amari Cooper mini helmet if you haven't done so yet. You'll find that on Twitter. DJ, send us into Week 4.
Bye.